Hey guys, welcome. This is Math V44. I'm going to be your instructor this semester. My name is Mike McCain. Uh, Today I'm going to share with you guys kind of a general outline of how the course works in this orientation video. And if you do have any other questions, make sure to reach out to me, okay? All right, so let's see. This is Math V44. This is an introductory course to statistics. And if you log into Canvas and you enter our course, you'll come to a page that looks like this. This is our Canvas homepage. All right. Over here on the left, this is called the navigation panel. At the top, you can see that we're in the Home tab. And of course, you can click to one of these other tabs to get to a different tab. But when you log in, it's always going to take you to the Home tab. And this is nice because all of our work is located in the Home tab. All right. So you'll notice at the top, we have recent announcements. I've only posted one, but if you missed it, make sure you read that. And then below that, we have our modules that we're going to be working through. I posted part one of the course. There's 4 parts, I believe. I'll be posting those later on. And then I have our discussions, the first few discussions posted there, as well as some resources. But I thought what we do is start with the syllabus, and then we'll come back. I'll show you around a little more, and we'll jump into this program called MyLab that we're going to be using. Okay, so to jump into our syllabus, we're going to go over to the course navigation panel, and we're going to click syllabus. And I'm going to switch to teacher view. And I know you guys have read through this, but I'm going to kind of point out the important things and talk about them a little bit, okay? All right. So first of all, yes, this is introductory statistics, Math V44. When you guys are communicating with me, if you have an email, if you have a question, or you're referring to this course to me or even someone else, you really want to identify the course with this number. It's called the course registration number. It's 70183. I teach multiple sections of Math V44. So if you tell me you're in Math V44, I won't know which one you're in unless you give me the CRN. All right. This is a regular semester course, so it's 17 and a half weeks. However, this course is a distance ed course, and it's of the fully online version. So what that means is we don't come to campus at all. The class is entirely conducted online. There's no meetings at all. Okay. All right. So how do you contact me? Well, there's a few different ways. One way is to use the Canvas messaging system. That's going to be over here. If you click that inbox, it'll take you to a messaging system, like an email system, and you can figure that out. You can email me there. And you can also call me. This will ring my office phone, but it'll send voicemails directly to my cell phone. So if you do have a question, it's urgent, you need to reach me, you can call me there. Make sure if you do leave a message to leave the CRN for the course, and then also your name and a phone number so I can reach you back. All right. But the one you're probably going to use the most, which is going to be on all the problems that you're working on, the MyLab problem sets, is going to be um, the MyLab messaging system. And to do that, you click the Ask My Instructor button below any of the problems that we work on in MyLab. And I'll show you that shortly. But regardless of how you contact me, I will get back to you by the next business day. So if you reach me out on Monday, I'll get back to you Tuesday. If you reach out to me on Friday, though, I'll try and get to it. But all I can say is I will for sure get back to you Monday. Okay. All right. Now, if for some reason I don't get back to you, it could be that I missed it. Sometimes I'll have emails that get filtered out into my junk email. I try and check them all the time, but every once in a while one slips through. So make sure if you don't hear back from me, make sure you reach out again, or maybe just give me a call. All right, here's my office hours for the semester. I have 3 on-campus office hours, and that's my office here. But for you guys, you're probably going to use this the most. I have online Zoom office hours. I'm available for 2 hours per week for all my courses. So if I have a bunch of questions, we'll have to set up a time, organize an hour that we can kind of center on. Just kind of depends. But if you want to set up a time to meet me on Zoom, just send me an email and let me know a few different windows of time that you're available, and I'll try and find one that works good for us. All right, what can we expect? Well, I wrote this mainly for summer because it's an accelerated course and it requires a lot of work, but this is a regular semester course. So let's see, this is a 4-unit course. So you can expect between 8 to 12 hours of work per week. That's standard for a math class. All right. So I would divide out that time throughout the week. If you only want to work, maybe 4 days a week, you just divide 4 into 12. It's, 3 hours a day. If you want to spread it out more, that's okay too. So it's up to you how you want to spread out that work. As far as materials for the course, this course does require a desktop or laptop computer. Chromebooks aren't going to work and iPads aren't going to work either. So basically, you have to be running one of these two operating systems, Mac OS or Windows. And then also, um, you're going to need a mobile device in addition to the desktop or laptop computer. And then all students are required to submit um, their written work basically using your mobile device. So it needs to be iOS or Android. I'll show you how to do that later on. And lastly, MyLab access. You're going to need MyLab access for the course. It's an 18-week subscription. However, the school is paying for these, and the instructions for getting registered are in the Getting Started module. It looks like some of you have already done it. So take care of that as soon as possible. All right. And by the way, if you're not registered by the first day of class, which is tomorrow, you could be dropped. So watch out for that. You need to either, if you have any issues, reach out to me, but there's free temporary access if you have any issues. So there's no reason why everyone can't get registered by tomorrow, Monday. All right. Canvas announcements. I'm going to be sending out lots of announcements throughout the term. Make sure you read them within 24 hours. And then if you want to set up your notifications, you can click there. This will notify you whenever I make an announcement. Pardon me just for a second. Okay. All right, so here we go. Assignments. These are what you're going to be graded on here. Okay, so we have a few different kinds. One of them is called a preparation assignment. So for many of the sections we cover, we work through, we're going to do this like a preparation assignment. Basically, it's kind of a review of previous material in the course. It's usually just a few questions. It's not worth a lot, but it is part of your grade. So it's pretty straightforward. I think you'll have no problems with those. The big thing that you're going to be working with is the interactive assignments. Basically, this takes the place of your lecture. So most of the learning is going to take place here. The interactive assignments contain your textbook. It's an interactive textbook that you're going to be working through. This includes lecture videos, really short ones, a bunch of little ones, example problems, solutions to example problems. There'll be handwritten solutions, solutions using StatCrunch, which you're going to want to learn how to use. There's step-by-step written StatCrunch instructions, applet simulations, activities, and a bunch of other stuff. Okay, so essentially, as you work through the interactive assignment, you're going to be watching a little video. They're going to be showing you an example, maybe an animation. Uh, they'll have you um, they'll have you work through an example and show you how to do it. Then they'll have you work an example, and then they'll show you another video and kind of restart the process. All right. So as you work through these, for most of the problems, you can keep redoing them as an infinite amount of times, and you won't be penalized. However, there are a few problems that you can only do a certain amount of times before it's going to lock you out and you won't be able to get credit. And that's going to be some of the multiple choice questions. And the reason for that is sometimes students will just guess and eventually you're going to get it right, and there's no point in giving you credit for stuff you're just guessing on. So it will warn you if you only have, one more attempt left. So just be careful in those. It's not very many. Most of the problems you can just keep working. Um, so I'm going to show you how to work through the interactive assignments. You're responsible for all the StatCrunch material. I've had students that try and do this class without using StatCrunch because they're afraid of the technology, the new technology, StatCrunch. However, I can assure you that if you don't learn StatCrunch, uh, this course is going to be pretty much impossible. That program takes care of all the, or much of the busy work, all of the really difficult stuff that would take us hours and hours to do by hand. It'll do in seconds. So take the time to learn it. Um, there are videos for everything that you need to do in StatCrunch, so you don't have to worry about getting lost. It'll tell you exactly what to do. So you'll come to these screens that look like this. Um, like here's an example problem, and then there's options for different video solutions. You can see the solution by hand. You can also see it using StatCrunch. These two you want to pay attention to. You want to ignore the TI-8384 solutions and the Microsoft Excel solutions. We don't use those. Same thing here. Okay, there's also a written solution here. So you've got multiple ways of looking at example solutions. All right. So your score on the interactive assignment basically would be the percentage of problems that you get right as you work through these. So you kind of have to work through each page and watch every video. It's a slow process, but it's doable, definitely. By the way, I taught this class over the summer, and instead of doing about 2 sections a week, we did 6. And over half the class, like 60% of the class got an A. But they also worked a ton. They worked, gosh, I don't know, it must have been like 3 hours a day for just straight 6, 7 days a week or maybe more. But for you guys, you have more time, so it's definitely doable. All right, now as you're working through the interactive assignments, you're going to be filling out something called a guided notebook. Now, these should be done at the same time. If you're not doing them at the same time, you're doing something wrong, and you're going to end up taking way too much time to do your work because you're going to have to go back to your interactive assignments to do your guided notebooks. Essentially, the guided notebooks are a printout. I ask you to print this in the Getting Started module, and the printout will tell you what to do. It'll say, watch the first video, and then it'll ask you a question, and you're going to write down on that notebook uh, what it's asking you to do. All right. And you're gonna have to fill out the whole notebook for full credit. Um, there's a lot of stuff in there, but it's very straightforward. It tells you exactly what questions they want you to do. Make sure you do all of the questions, including the example problems. You don't want to skip anything. All right. So I put the requirements for the notebooks in the assignment, so you'll see those. But just so you know, these notebooks are kind of letting me know that you work through the lecture. So these need to be high quality. This is what I'm going to be. This is the bulk of our grade. I think it's like 35% or something like that. All right. Now, once you're done with the interactive assignments in the guided notebook, you're going to do some MyLab problems. Essentially, they're going to look like a lot of the problems in your interactive assignment. However, you won't have as much help. Um, so it's not going to tell you what to do as much. So you want to make sure to use StatCrunch when you can, and you'll know when to use it based upon the example problems you did in the interactive assignment. And lastly, we have discussions that are due once per week. And the purpose of these discussions is just to somewhat mimic the on-campus classroom environment. We'll do our best. I'm just asking you to answer some very basic, more life questions. So don't worry, this is probably the easiest part of the class. Okay, due date. So we have assignments that are due every Tuesday and Thursday, pretty much. And uh, basically, if for some reason you have an emergency or something happens, your internet goes down, you get called into work,
got a family situation. That's okay. You know, these rare situations do happen. So because of this, I have a built-in late emergency extensions until Sunday. So if you want to use it, you can use it on any assignment. However, what I found in the past is the students that use the extensions a lot tend to not get through the course. If you keep up with the due dates, those are the students that get through the course. Due dates are Tuesday and Thursday. Plus, if you wait till Sunday, there's really nothing I can do if your internet goes down or my lab goes down or something happens. That was your extension, so you don't get another one. All right, so just remember Tuesdays and Thursdays are your due dates. This is the assignment weights for the course. Oh, yeah, interactive assignments are the bulk, 30%. You might notice that something's missing here. You'll notice there's no exams. And that is in fact correct. There are no exams in this course. It's fully online. There's no way for me to ensure that the integrity of this course is being upheld. Being the course is online, I don't know who's doing what at home. So essentially, this is you're just going to be working through a bunch of problems. Everything's pretty much equally weighted. Um, so, and you don't have to study for an exam at the end of the semester or anything. Okay. So that is a big positive, I think, for most students, because most students do not do too well on exams, especially in statistics. All right. All right. If you ever want to check your grade in the class, you can click the grades tab. It's over in the navigation panel. I have some policies for the course. Make sure you read through those. Professionalism. You know, in academia, it's really important that you're polite and encouraging to your peers and also your instructors. So for example, when you're addressing me in your messages or in person, always address me as Mr. McCain, Professor McCain, or Professor. Okay, and when you're sending me emails, I would read this on instructions on how to send emails. You know, I don't, the reason I mention this is because I'd like to help you guys. It actually doesn't, I don't mind being called Mike. However, um, a lot of professors don't really like it. They like you to address them by their name. And I'd like you to get used to that, especially as you move to university, where you have a lot of PhDs and guys and gals that have spent a lot of time working on their education. And you know, you probably want to um, address them with the proper level of respect for their time. All right. And in general, you want to do this because you don't want to have a bad relationship with a professor. It's about the worst thing you can do. So always keep it positive. And if you do have a disagreement, that's okay. Just make sure you're straightforward and keep it positive and always be professional. That's the best chance at the best outcome for both parties. All right. Also, if I see something in your communication that's off, you know, it's possible. You know, I've had students that have been rude sometimes, and that's very rare, but that does happen. But the main one would be students that maybe write an email that's unprofessional. Maybe they didn't know. It was just poorly worded, bad spelling. Um, you know, they talked about stuff that I shouldn't they shouldn't be talking about. If you click there, you'll know what I mean about that. Um, um, what I'll do to kind of help you out, because I do care about you guys' future. I want you to have the best chance at success in your future classes and career. I don't want you to upset your future instructors. I'm going to give you some feedback if that happens, right? It doesn't happen that much, but every once in a while I'll run into it. And I hope that it helps. All right. Course descriptions here, read through that on your own. Uh, this is just interaction. The course description, this is for accreditation purposes. It's basically what we're going to be covering and how we're going to be doing it. These are important administrative dates. These couple of dates right there are really important. The drop without a W and the drop with a W. Um, um, you want to pay attention to that because it could affect your GPA. And lastly, I have some contact info for the tutoring center. I would probably reach out to them early to figure out their schedule. You know, the first couple of weeks aren't too bad in this course, just going to take a little time getting used to. But after that, you should be fine. If you're a student with disabilities, make sure that you contact them here. If you are, oh, and make sure you take care of that the first week because I'll need that information. If you're experiencing technical difficulties in Canvas, make sure to reach out to them here. If you have MyLab difficulties, reach out to them here. And if you have any issues with the bookstore, including issues, maybe your code isn't populating, in the Getting Started module, I give you a link for getting a free access code. And if that's not working, you're going to want to contact them. Okay, so that's your syllabus. Let's jump back to our course homepage. And I'm going to show you the student view. All right, so let's walk around this a little bit. Over here on the left, the navigation panel, this button here is where you want to go to speak with me on Zoom, whether it's during my office hours or if we schedule a meeting. If you click there during a scheduled time, I'll be waiting for you. This is where you'll find all previous announcements. You'll find grades there, your syllabus, and this is for registering in the Getting Started module. On the far left, you have your global navigation panel. This is for global account settings. These are where your courses are at. This is our calendar for the semester. Let's take a look at that. You get a general idea of when stuff is due. These are all your getting started orientation stuff. Real easy just to get through that. Our first assignments are due on Tuesday. Our next section's due on Thursday. And our discussions are due on Friday. And there's 2 parts to our discussions. So make sure you take care of those. They're really easy though. And of course, if you have an emergency situation, you have all the way up until Sunday, but I wouldn't use it because you never know, something could go wrong on Sunday and then you're out of luck. Okay, but that's pretty much the structure for the semester. You can see Tuesday, Thursdays, pretty much the whole semester. If this thing lines up. Oh, my internet's too slow. Oh, it's not posted because I only posted the first few weeks. That's right. All right, let's back out of there. Let's go back to our course. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, I forgot. There's 2 sections of Math V44. Make sure to look in your syllabus, figure out which section you're in. This is one of them, and then I have another one as well. So you'll have a different number, but everything else is the same. All right, let's go back to our home page. What else? Okay. So this is where our content for the course is. This is our Getting Started module I asked you guys to work through. Most of you guys have done that already. This is where you're going to download and print those guided notebooks. There's a lot of files there, so um, make sure you have enough ink in your printer. During the second or third week, I'm going to see if I can make some copies on campus. If anyone lives close and wants to come to campus to get a free copy, I should be able to do that for you. But I'll have to wait until the second or third week to take care of that. All right. And that's where you get your free MyLab access code from the bookstore. And if it's not working, you're going to need to contact them. Their contact info is on the syllabus. And the instructions for registering for MyLab are there. There's our discussions for the first 3 weeks. Read the instructions. We're in part 1 of the course, and you can see if you click on this first link, you're going to get a quick kind of overview of what we're going to be studying in chapter 1. And then, oops, I'll back out of there. Teacher view, student view. And then there's our interactive assignment. There's the guided notebook. You're actually going to be submitting this using your phone. The instructions are in there. You'll have to follow those. And these are those MyLab problems. These 2, the interactive assignment and the guided notebook, should be done together. Okay, so do those together. Let me open the interactive assignment. maybe I'll open one a little later. Let's see. Let's do this one. Oh, I have to get out of student view. Okay. All right, here it is. And the idea is you're going to work through from the top to bottom. So notice up here, it starts with a little reading. It's usually just a page of material or half a page. It's just a definition. There's a little video to watch there. You can click next, or you can go over here and click on the objectives. There's a video to watch there. These are short videos, usually less than 5 minutes. Some more reading. That looks like the same page. Nope, that's sampling bias. This is non-response bias, right? Okay. All right. And then you'll have some example problems to do right here. And these are the ones that are going to score points. Now, you're going to have to watch these videos because the guided notebook is going to ask you questions about those as you work through them. And as you continue to go, you'll notice there's different types of problems to do. Let's see if I can find a problem. Yeah, let me back out of here. I'm going to find one that has more buttons on it so you can see. Let's go to something in chapter 2. Let's try this one. And we'll get to see more of how this works. All right, so introduction. Okay, let's go to the second one here. Let's see if I can find one with some content for you. I wanted to show you an example. Okay, here we go. So here they're giving us an example of how to work through a problem. Here's the problem. Here's the text solution. There's the problem. There's a table we're going to use. Here's the solution written out in text. Here's a video solution by hand. And if you watch this video, it's just a short 2-minute video.
In this example, we'll learn to compute a popular.
They'll walk you through how to do it by hand. If you click this one, they'll walk you through how to do it using StatCrunch. And notice
In
they'll
this
show
example, we'll learn
you
to of n equals 4
exactly what buttons to press.
summary stats columns. Select the column containing the numerical data score and click on mean.
Okay, you've got everything you need there. All right. Think you'll have some other questions. We'll work on those as we go. If you do have any questions, make sure to reach out. All right, what else? Oh, let me show you the guided notebook. I don't think I put them in here. I had you download them. Oh, here's the instructions for those. Make sure you read through this carefully on how to submit them and what you're required to do. But the guided notebooks are up here. You guys downloaded and printed them. Let's take a look. Guided notebooks. Let's take a look at let's do chapter 3. So you're going to want to print all these out, and you're only going to want to submit one section at a time. So this is section 3.1. You'll notice it has all the objectives in that interactive assignment. It's telling you to answer the following after watching the video, the objective 1 video. So you'll have to watch the video in order to answer these questions. There's an example that wants you to show all your work. There's some more questions. Another example, you're going to have to show all your work there. Objective 3, there's another video to watch, so on and so forth. So make sure you have this printed out, and you should be doing this in tandem with your interactive assignment. All right. What else? Oh, and then lastly, the MyLab problems. You know, if we open one of these, it's basically just a few problems to work on to get practice outside of the interactive assignment. And some of them have multiple parts, so it's going to be frustrating. But try and remember that you guys have no tests. That's a huge upside. You can get whatever grade you want in this class just by putting in sufficient time. Let me give you an example of some of the buttons available. So they have a question over here. This one's multiple choice. There's probably a few parts. If you click over here, there's a help me solve this button. There's a view an example button. Let me show you that. It will show you an example problem that's just like this one. Have you work through it. We'll show you the steps over here on the right. And once you read through it, you should be able to work this problem. If you have any questions, you can click this Ask My Instructor button, and this will send me a copy of the question you're working on. And then you could say, hi, Professor McCain, write a little comment in there. Can you help me with part B? I'm having problems understanding such and such. This is what I tried. It didn't work. And I'll respond by the next day. All right. If it's something kind of difficult to respond in email, I'll ask to meet you over Zoom, and then just respond with some times that you're available, and we'll find a time. All right. I think that is pretty much it. Oh, these are the easy prep assignments. Just reviewing stuff from previous sections. So this prep for chapter 2.1 probably has a few questions from chapter 1, just a couple easy questions. All right, there's 4 parts to statistics. There's getting the information that we need. We call this data collection. There's part 2, which is describing the statistics. This is going to be things like organizing your data, graphing, measures of central tendency, dispersion. A lot of stuff there. That's the big one. Probability and probability distributions. We'll talk about that later. And lastly is inference. In any case, we do have some resources available. We have a course map. We have how to check for grading comments. I do comment on your submissions, so if you have any issues, I'll remind you about this button. We do have our textbook, but it's in the interactive assignment. And we do have some notes for the whole class and more. It's broken up by section if you want to go back and review something from, to kind of read through a section. You can do that there. I don't think very many students are going to use this because it's all in the interactive assignment, but you may. It's there just in case. All right, I think that's pretty much it. You're probably going to still have some questions. That's okay. There's just a lot of stuff to talk about in less than an hour, and I can't probably get to all of it. And there's probably some stuff you don't need to hear. So if you do have any questions, make sure to reach out. I'm going to be on working with students throughout the week. I can set up Zoom appointments. So just reach out. I'm here to help. Okay. Good luck. And remember, your first assignments are due on Tuesday. All right. Bye-bye.